Established over 120 years ago in Chicago, Rotary is a global network of more than 1.2 million members and carries out hundreds of millions of dollars worth of global service projects each year. While it may not be a familiar name for the current generation, the Rotary International President, starting in 2026, is out to change all that. Our globalist today is that elected president, Yoon. We talk about how he plans to take the beloved global organization into the future and what is in store for the very active Korea chapter. Welcome to the Globalist.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to see you.
Yes.
As well as being at Arirang TV because everywhere I go, Arirang TV is one of my favorite channels to watch.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's start with the basics. Tell us about Rotary International. What is Rotary?
Just simply put, humanity in action. Rotarians strive to serve with their hands, feet, head, and heart. And Rotarians are change makers. We like to change, or we try to change, the lives of those who are less fortunate and marginalized, to renew their hope and rebuild their lives. And Rotary's motto is service above self.
Service
And
above
our vision is together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves.
I actually have been to a couple of Rotary meetings. It feels like a very family-oriented kind of atmosphere. It's been around for 120 years. How did it start, and how did it start in Korea?
Well, it started in Chicago, as you mentioned, 120 years ago in 1905 by a lawyer who just moved to Chicago and need a social connection. So he had several friends get together to start a small gathering to support his business in the beginning. Then it changed into, evolved into a service organization. And now it's in over 200 countries with 37,000 Rotary clubs in the world with 1.2 million members participating.
I guess feeling of the Rotary is that it's a membership of relatively well-to-do businessmen who are already established. It's not for a younger generation that it's hard to become a member. But I hear that's not the case?
That's right. We have evolved, certainly, over the years. To be a Rotarian, it's very simple. If you have service-minded, if you have a compassion for people who are less fortunate, you may join. People may think that it's difficult to serve others, but when you consider what we all possess, which is such as time, kindness, understanding, love, I mean, anybody can do good to others. That will enable you to sustain and develop not only yourself, but many others. So serving others would be the best way to serve yourself.
Yeah.
And such a life will be fulfilling, satisfactory, joyous, valuable, happy. So what more can you ask?
True. But that, that is a motto, a very true motto, not only for an established generation, but I guess you would also want a younger generation who also follow those truths to join in the effort.
Yes.
But that must prove to be a bit challenging.
True. Very challenging to have young people to join not only Rotary, but any organization. Not that they don't want to serve, but they're not very keen to
There's so
become
many
a member.
so many things that
True.
young people
True.
have to do.
Right. The Rotary is what we try to do is to have young people to not only in serving their communities, but at the same time develop as a leader while serving others. If anybody who's interested, young people especially, interested in serving others while developing to be a leader, they should come to Rotary and participate in service activities.
And it must be a great bonus that, when you join Rotary, there is an established group of very well-known entrepreneurs and businessmen who have served their communities for such long years.
Young people may join Rotary with established people who could be mentors for them as well. Sure.
And that's not easy to find these days, to have that connection between generations.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the projects that you do. I know that one of your favorites is the Keep Mongolia Green project. What is that project and how did it come about?
Well, I was district governor in Rotary Centennial year of 2004-2005. And my classmates got together and discussed how can we celebrate Rotary Centennial? And we decided to challenge, or at least attempt to challenge, yellow sandstorm that blows from Gobi Desert to Korean Peninsula every spring.
Yep.
So we went to Gobi and began to plant windbreak forest. And we were able to achieve some success. We implemented 5 separate projects, each lasting 3 years. Total budget was about $1.67 million.
Wow. So almost 9 years, 10 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
We planted over 400,000 trees.
400,000 trees.
Yeah, and also started orchard and also planted some vegetables and other agricultural products. My consolation is that the Mongolian government has initiated a national project of a Great Green Wall across the Mongolian soil.
Oh, really?
Planting windbreak forests.
Oh, so the Great Green Wall is actually a wall of trees and forests.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel that we at least has a small part in initiating it.
So that was a big achievement for you, but there must have been a lot of challenges in doing this.
Yeah, there was a lot of challenges that we were not expecting, a lot of surprises, and especially we had a terrible car accident at one point.
Oh.
And several people were severely hurt. So that was.
I hope they're all better now.
One of them passed away.
Oh, goodness.
Some of them are okay. But that was a huge challenge for me, especially because I led them, and they're the ones who got hurt.
You bear a lot of responsibility. Yeah. This was initiated by yourself and the Korea members. How active is the Korea chapter?
Oh, I'm very proud of Korean Rotary because we are number 4 in membership in the 200 countries of Rotary world.
Among that many countries.
Right. And we are, in giving to Rotary Foundation, we rank number 2. Isn't that great? I mean,
that is amazing,
that
really.
is fabulous,
Yeah.
right? And actually, we're now, the Koreans are trying to make Korea as the most advanced volunteer service country in the world. And also, the Koreans want to double their impact in our society by increasing our members from currently 70,000 to 100,000 in 2027.
Wow. So 70,000 to 100,000. We're talking about 30,000 more members. That's going to be a challenge. You don't have that
Yes.
many years left. But you know, it's even more amazing when you think about the fact that after the Korean War was actually a recipient of all of these services from the Rotary Club itself. I mean, so there's a history there.
Obviously, during the Korean War, the Rotary clubs were not able to meet. But as soon as the war was over, the clubs were revived and began to flourish. And what I can tell you is right after the war, the Rotary clubs were excellent conduit for the NGOs of the world in assisting Korea.
So they served as the middle person to allow all this assistance to flow into Korea.
Right, from the outside world to support the reconstruction of the country and rehabilitating, rebuilding the lives of Korean people.
It's an enormous turnaround from that role to the current one. Because of that role that Rotary played after the Korean War, is there more of a dedication, of a different feeling towards Rotary among the Korean members?
Obviously, as I mentioned, they're number 4 in the world and number 2 in giving. I mean, that's a great dedication. So I'm very, very proud of Rotary in Korea. And I think the Rotary world looks at Korean Rotary very carefully as to what
Envious.
envious.
I would
and
say,
emulate.
I think a little bit of envy involved.
Yeah.
The Korea chapter will celebrate in 2027 the Centennial. So what do you have planned? Can you tell us? I mean, is it a secret?
As I mentioned, the 2 main plans we have is to increase our impact, double our impact, and also Korea is a overall one of the advanced country, but we still feel there's still something missing. And so what we could do is to make us one of the most advanced volunteer service country in the world. So those 2 are our main plan for the Centennial year.
Like the Keep Mongolia Green project, is there a special a project that you may be thinking of?
We are beginning to work on that. What we're planning to do is to have a competition. Not only the Rotarians, but among the non-Rotarians, to find out what would be the best service project that we could do to celebrate Rotary Centennial in Korea. And we will start that quite soon.
That's exciting. Oh, all right. So while you will soon be the head of this expansive, beloved global organization, many people in Korea know you as the eldest son of our 4th president. How has that sort of contributed to your ideas towards service and Rotary and all of that?
Growing up as a son of a president had a huge impact on my life, although I never really had a chance to reflect upon it. But I can tell you that I felt a heavy weight of responsibility all along in my action to be cautious and careful. because I always mindful of how others may perceive me. But I'm grateful for my late father, who was stern and frugal, also very affectionate. And my mother, she engraved in me the Christian faith and love thy neighbor. And so I feel most fortunate to have such parents, and I would like to see if I could live up to or redeem their love.
Yeah. You also live in the house that your parents lived in, and it's considered one of the best preserved traditional Korean houses in the country. Tell us about your house. What is it like living in a traditional treasure? Huh?
Yeah, my house was originally built in late 1860s by one of the close relatives of Empress Min. And my grandpa bought the house in 1918. So since then, 6 generations of Yoon family has been living there, and I was born there. And because I lived all my life there, I'm attached to it. And I majored architecture at school. And my master degree thesis was on Hanok, the Korean traditional house.
So you must have gotten, influenced by the Hanok that you lived in.
Sure. And my late father also, a lot of people don't know, but he was very much interested in architecture and art forms. So the main house, when it was renovated in early 1960s, it was his idea, his design basically, that has renovated the house. And that's how we are keeping at this point.
Not many people know about the characteristics of the traditional Hanok, but knowing it by studying it and then of course living in it, what is the major characteristic of a Korean traditional house compared to any other countries?
Oh, there are many things. Traditional Korean house, it's apart from the Western dwelling, you can say a few things. Number one, Korean houses, we one with nature, in harmony with nature, whereas Western house is a protection against environment, against people, against hazard. Another thing is, if you see the Western house, they're usually a single structure in the middle of the plot of land, whereas Korean is composed of several structures in the compound. And also, Koreans personify their house with the philosophy of the owner, like 무첨당 means nothing to add. And there's 긍정전, diligent governance, like that. Whereas in the Western world, it's usually a place or name of the person.
Does your house have a name?
The total house does not have a name, but one of the structure, I call it 염광제. 염광 is a salt and light.
Yeah.
Because during the Japanese rule, at the end of it, towards the end of it, there was a meeting of several people, including my father, called 염광회, Salt and Light. Association or group that met to talk about how we could establish government or the nation
Independent from Japan.
when we become independent.
The characteristics of the Hanok that you just described, I guess, is the basis why preserving Hanok, which is actually dying out at the moment, is one of your passions?
Yes, as I said, I lived all my life there, so I am attached to it. And so my interest lies in conservation and preservation of traditional Korean culture and its art forms. And my house is definitely one of them. I try anyway.
And you turn your house into like a concert area where you have musicians play and people come in so that they can actually see a Hanok in its full glory.
Yeah. Well, it was actually my wife, Eun-sun, who loves classic music. And when we heard that there was a classical music concert at a Buddhist temple in the mountains, we thought, hey, that's very interesting, combination of venue and the performance. At the time, we were able to meet violinist Kang Dong-seok and join the Seoul Spring Festival Chamber Music. So since then, there is a festival every spring and concert every fall. And next year, we'll be celebrating 20-year of Seoul Spring Festival of Chamber Music.
I think I was there once. I enjoyed it immensely. But the preservation of Korean Hanok is an uphill battle. There are some successes, but there are a lot of challenges.
Sure.
How do you see that evolving?
My neighborhood, Bukcheon, during the weekends, a lot of people come, not only foreigners, but a lot of young people. And obviously these people, most of them never lived in Hanok.
Yeah.
But I think in their DNA, there's something about Hanok that makes them to come and visit and enjoy. So I think that there is a future for Hanok. I don't think it will be as much of a fad as the apartments, but
Well, but they talked about hanbok, going out of style. But now people are incorporating bits of hanbok into modern fashion. So Hanok, there are areas of Hanok.
I think the architects should develop more modernized form, different ways of presenting traditional Korean Hanok to the public.
Yeah. Talking about taking things into the future. Now, your role as Rotary International President starts in 2026, which is 2 years from now. But you're already planning, you're already doing activities to prepare for that. What's happening?
Well, the presidency of Rotary International is actually 1 year, but we serve basically 2 years as a president-elect 1 year and as a president 1 year. It's a basically 2-year term, which will start next year, next July. And the president of Rotary International serves to provide leadership, not by its position, but lead by action. And wherever I will be traveling as president, there will be 태극기, Korean national flag, and they will play 애국가, Korean national anthem, paying respect to the office of the president.
Well, that should help in attracting a younger generation to Rotary. What do you think?
I hope so, because Rotary tries to develop young people as a leader of their community and as a leader of global village. So any young people who are interested in serving others at the same time, developing to be a leader, they should come to Rotary and participate in our service activities, because that's what we would like to do and that's what we try to do.
Yeah. But I also saw that in your future there are words like AI, technology. I guess in terms of your future service activities, those technologies is a must. So maybe that is some way to hook in a younger generation?
Sure. I hope so, because one of the what we call action plan for Rotary is to increase our adaptability. And obviously technology will be one of them. And I think that Rotary should be incorporate more technology into it so that I hope to become service platform for the whole world, for anybody or any institution or any product, service related to service could come to this Rotary platform and find it and get connected and share.
Yeah. Well, it will be a challenging 2 years, but we wish you the best of luck. And anytime you want to come visit us again, do come visit us. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's it for me. I'll be back next week with another globalist who's putting Korea on the map. Sonjie out.